Hello everyone, so we will answer again paper 1 chemistry for the Cambridge IGCSE taken February-March 2020. So let's start. Which row represents the particles of glass colliding more frequently? Usually when gases are heated, or yes, they are heated, they have high temperature, and usually they also have high pressure. So for this question, the right answer is letter A. Next, which test is used to show that sample of water is pure? So actually, we have to determine the purity of water. One, and how to determine it is one is heat the water to check its boiling point. Of course, we know that the boiling point of water is what? 100 degrees centigrade. So that is how you test for the sample of water if it is pure. So the correct answer for that is letter B. Which piece of apparatus is used to measure 1.5 cubic centimeter of a solution accurately? Actually, the correct answer for this is letter D. Why? Because 50 cubic centimeter burette is actually very accurate until within 0.01 ml. So it's very accurate that you will use 50 cubic centimeter burette than using the other apparatus. A representation of an atom is shown. So we have here a diagram of an atom with the electrons surrounding the nucleus. So what is the nucleon number of this atom? All you have to do is count the number of atoms, count the number of protons and neutrons in the atom, in the nucleus. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So the correct answer for this is letter D. Lithium reacts with fluorine to form a compound lithium fluoride. Which statement about this reaction is correct? We have to recall that fluorine is found in group 17 of the periodic table. So therefore, it has to gain 1 electron. So for this question, the correct answer is letter A. Ammonia NH3 is a covalent molecule. Which diagram shows the outer shell electron arrangement in a molecule of ammonia? Remember that nitrogen needs 3 electrons to become stable. So in here, let's see, for the rule of 8, letter A is not specified for the rule of 8. It only has 6 electrons found, as well as in letter B. And you see the extra electron in hydrogen, which is not also correct, because hydrogen has only 1 electron available. For letter C, let's see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's see letter D. Again, there's an extra electron found in the hydrogen. So this is not the correct answer. The correct answer for this is letter C. Which row describes the structure and use of diamond? Of course, we know that diamond is in cutting tools and not as a lubricant. So we will remove choice B and choice D. However, Actually, diamond is covalent in structure and therefore not ionic. So we will remove letter A, covalent or macromolecular. So the correct answer for this is letter C. Number 8, methane, CH4, burns in air to form carbon dioxide and water. What is the balance equation for this reaction? So let us see. For carbon in letter A, we have 1 here, 1 there, yes. For the hydrogen, we have 4. We also have 4 in here. Oxygen only has 2, but in this part, we have 3. So this is not the correct answer. We have here carbon, also the same with the carbon in here. We have 4 hydrogen in here. We have 4 oxygen. Let's see, 2 in here and 2 in here. That is 4. Okay, we'll just look at this choice. Let's go to C. We have carbon in here, 1. Hydrogen here has 4 and has 2 in the other side. So this is not the right answer. It's not balanced. For carbon in here, for letter D, as well as carbon 1 in here. We also have hydrogen 4 in here, hydrogen 4 in here. We also have 6 oxygen in here, but we only have 2 and 2, that is only 4. So the correct answer for this number is letter B. Which statement about electrolysis is correct? Chemical energy is converted to electrical energy. It's the other way around. However, electrons flow through the electrolyte. No. The correct answer for this is letter C, since ionic compounds are actually broken down. So metals are formed at the positive electrode. That is not also the correct answer. Next, which energy level diagram shows the reaction that will give out most energy? So we're talking about the most energy that will be given out. So this is the exogenic properties or exogenic reaction as well as endogenic reactions. For exogenic reaction, the number or the reactants are very high, but the products are very low. So of course, letter B, we will remove this already because the reactants, as we said, should be high and the products would be low. So also we have letter C, we will remove this because of course we said that the reactants should be high and the products are low. For letter D, let's see, the reactants are high and the product is low, okay, but we're also talking about the most energy that will be given out. So the correct answer for this is letter A, since it gives out most of the energy. In here, it gives out energy, but not the most energy. So the correct answer for this is letter A. Which change is a physical change? We have letter A. We're talking about physical change wherein it goes back to the original state. So copper 2 carbonate changes color from green to black when heated and stays black when it cools. So therefore, it did not went back to its original form. So letter A is not the correct answer. Ethanol reacts with oxygen to form carbon dioxide and water. So ethanol is the reactant, and carbon dioxide and water will become the result, and therefore it did not go back to the original status or state of the compound. C. Hydrogen peroxide decomposes into water and oxygen when boiled. Decomposition is not actually a physical change. So we have letter D. Ice forms liquid water when it is heated. Of course, ice is also a water only on its solid form. So the correct answer for this is letter D. Marble chips or calcium carbonate react with hydrochloric acid in an exothermic reaction. So we have the reaction here. We have calcium carbonate plus hydrochloric acid turns into calcium chloride plus water and carbon dioxide. When excess marble chips are added to dilute hydrochloric acid, the rate of reaction starts off fast, then gets slower until the reaction stops. Remember, there is already a reaction, and you are adding marble chips into the hydrochloric acid. So what does the reaction rate get slower? Why does the reaction get slower? 1. Concentration of hydrochloric acid is decreasing. The concentration of calcium chloride is increasing. The calcium carbonate is completely used up. And the temperature of the mixture decreases. The temperature is not included in the equation, although you give off energy to do this exothermic reaction, which is not the correct answer. The calcium carbonate is completely used up. Actually, you are adding calcium carbonate, so this is not the right answer. The concentration of calcium chloride is increasing. Calcium chloride is already the result and not the reactant. So the correct answer for this is the concentration of hydrochloric acid is decreasing. Why? Because the hydrochloric acid in the first reaction is already used up. So the concentration of this is decreasing when you are adding another marble chips for this matter. So the correct answer for this is letter A. Next, the diagram shows the change from anhydrous salt to its hydrated form. So it means that you are putting water, because anhydrous, so no water, and then it will become hydrated salt. So which statement is correct? The forward reaction requires heat and water. Actually, they're not. It does not say something about the heat. So we will remove this, and then we have the letter C. We will also remove that from the choices. So the forward reaction requires water only. So you have to have water in order for this salt to become hydrated. So reverse reaction requires water only. Actually, the reverse, you will be removing water. So the correct answer for this is letter B. Next, a violent reaction occurs when a mixture of chromium 3 oxide and aluminum is ignited with magnesium fuse, as shown in the diagram. So we have the magnesium fuse, the crucible, and the mixture of chromium oxide and aluminum, as well as that of the sun. The equation for this reaction is shown. So you have chromium oxide plus aluminum form into chromium and aluminum oxide. Which substance is oxidized in the reaction? Meaning, oxygen is placed in the mixture. So we have aluminum, let's see, aluminum oxide, it already has an oxygen, so we will remove this. Chromium, you cannot see oxygen placed with or added with the chromium in the result. And chromium oxide is actually a part of the reactant. So the correct answer for this is aluminum, letter A. A farmer's soil is acidic. Which substance should the farmer use to neutralize the soil? If the soil is acidic, you need a base to neutralize the soil. Therefore, ammonium sulfate is actually an acid. Hydrochloric acid is an acid. NPK fertilizer is neither an acid nor a base. So the correct answer for this is calcium oxide, since calcium oxide is a base. Three elements X, Y, and Z are burned in oxygen. The oxides form or dissolve in water and pH of the solutions measured. The results are shown. You have X, which is 2 for the pH, therefore this is acidic. Y is 14, which is basic or base, and Z is actually 8, which is probably almost neutral because the neutral pH is 7. So which statements are correct? Element X could be sulfur, element Y could be sodium, element Z is a nonmetal. 4 no metal elements were used. Actually, the correct answer for this is letter B. Let's see why. We have this periodic table. You will see here that when burned, oxygen, elements that are burned with oxygen becomes acidic if they are non-metals. Example of that, we have the sulfur. That's why it has an acidic reaction to pH. And Y, we have Na, which is a metal and becomes basic when burned with oxygen. That's the reason why the answer for this is letter B. The following substances can be reacted together to prepare salts. Copper 2 oxide in the excess of hydrochloric acid in the excess of sodium hydroxide, hydrochloric acid, and excess zinc carbonate. In which reactions can the excess reactant be separated from the solution by filtration? The correct answer is letter D. Let's see why. In copper oxide and excess hydrochloric acid, it says there excess reactant will be separated by solution by filtration. You can only separate not the hydrochloric acid but the copper oxide. So this one is not correct. For 2 hydrochloric acid and excess sodium hydroxide, they will produce gases and therefore you cannot separate them by filtration. So it's only 3 wherein you can separate the excess zinc carbonate from the hydrochloric acid. So we have the different tests. We have the aqueous sodium hydroxide is added. It becomes rings, precipitate form, insoluble in excess sodium hydroxide. Another test, dilute nitric acid is added. There's no reaction. And aqueous barium nitrate is added to the acidified solution. From test 2, white precipitate was formed. What's the identity of the salt S? Actually, all of this test and results is concluded to iron 2 sulfate. The correct answer for this is letter D. Which statement about the periodic table is correct? Actually, we see the letter A, most metallic elements are on the left. It can be. The elements in the same period have the same number of outer electrons, not the period, but the group. So letter B will be crossed out. Elements on the left are usually gases. Actually, they are elements. That's why letter A is the most probable answer, or which is correct. The relative atomic mass of the elements increases from right to left. It should be from left to right. So the correct answer for that is letter A. The diagram shows elements WX, Y, and Z section of the periodic table. So we have in group 1, which is the hydrogen alkali group, and we have group 17. Both are very reactive groups. For one, it would readily give its electrons, and for 17, they readily accept the electrons. So which statement about the reactivity of elements is correct? Actually, the correct answer for this is letter C. Why? Because as you go down, the atoms becomes bigger and therefore it is more reactive. So Y is more reactive than X. And also, however, for group 17, its reactivity lessens and therefore W is more reactive than Z. So the correct answer for this is not letter C. Some properties of substances are listed. They conduct electricity, they have low densities, they have high melting points, and they are malleable. Which properties are shown by transition metals? So transition metals actually can conduct electricity, but very high density. So we will remove 2 here. And they also have high melting points. That's the reason why they are solids. And they are malleable. Aside from being ductile, they can be thinned into sheets. So the correct answer for this, of course, is letter D. So we have 1, 3, and 4. Which statement about the noble gas argon is correct? So it burns with a hot flame? Not really. It is used in airships because of its low density? No. It exists as diatomic molecules? No, because it is not one of the diatomic molecules. Actually, it has 8 electrons in its outermost shell. So it's one of the elements that are very stable because it already has 8 electrons in its outer shell. Sodium is a group 1 metal. Which property that is typical of most metal is not shown by sodium? Conductor of heat, yes. But it does not have a high melting point. It is also malleable and it is shiny. The correct answer for this is letter B. Manganese, nickel, and silver are all metals. Samples of powdered manganese, nickel, and silver were placed in separate test tubes containing dilute hydrochloric acid. So the results are shown. What is the order of reactivity of metals, most reactive to least reactive? You will see here that in manganese, there are lots of hydrogen bubbles going out from the test tube. In nickel, there are some hydrogen, and however, for silver plus hydrochloric acid, there is no reaction. So the correct order of reactivity is from manganese, nickel, and silver. The correct answer for this is letter A. Which statement about aluminum is correct? Let us see one by one. Aluminum is easy to extract from its core because it is near the bottom of reactivity series. Actually, it is not easy to extract from its ore because aluminum has to undergo electrolysis, which is more expensive than extracting iron. So letter A is not correct. Aluminum is formed when aluminum oxide is heated with carbon. Aluminum is formed when aluminum oxide is heated with carbon. Actually, it forms salt instead of aluminum. Bauxite is an important ore of aluminum. It is yes. That is actually the correct answer. Hematite is an important ore of aluminum. Hematite is actually an ore of iron. Some properties of aluminum are listed. It conducts heat, it has low density, it is strong, it is resistant to corrosion. Which of these properties makes aluminum suitable for making food containers for chilled food products? If you're talking about chilled food products, you are putting it in a refrigerator or a chiller or a freezer. So it should not conduct heat. It has no, it has should have high density. Yes, it may be strong, but it should be resistant to corrosion. The correct answer for that is letter D. Water is treated at a waterworks to make it fit to drink. What is present in the water when it leaves the waterworks? Of course, you already treated the water, so you cannot have bacteria on them. As well as letter B, because of the presence of bacteria. Also, it does not only have chlorine compounds, so it has also soluble substances. The correct answer for that is letter D. Sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, and oxides of nitrogen are common gaseous pollutants found in the air. Which pollutants contribute to acid rain? So we have here oxides of nitrogen as well as sulfur dioxide. So the correct answer for this is letter B. Which methods prevent iron from rusting? So we are preventing rusting from that of the iron. Of course, the galvanized iron is coated with zinc. You also paint it, but you will not wash it with salt and water. So the correct answer for this is letter C. Fertilizers are mixtures of different compounds used to increase the growth of crops. Which pair of substances contain the three essential elements for plant growth? Of course, the correct answer for this is letter C, because of the ammonium phosphate and potassium chloride, which are essential for plant growth. Which process does not add a greenhouse gas to the atmosphere? Of course, when you burn methane, you are adding greenhouse gas into the atmosphere. So that is not the composition of vegetation. Actually, you are releasing a greenhouse gas. If you have the composition of vegetation, of course, like methane, polymerization is actually the use of polymers in the daily life activity, would not give a greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. So the correct answer for this is letter C. Of course, respiration, because we are giving off carbon dioxide, and therefore we are adding also in the greenhouse effect in the atmosphere. So respiration should not be added, or it's not the correct answer. Why is sulfur dioxide used as a food preservative? Actually, sulfur dioxide is used in food as a preservative because it kills bacteria when it releases gas. So it enables the prolonging of, it prolongs the food life or shelf life by giving off gases that would kill bacteria. So the correct answer for this is letter C. Which statements about lime or calcium oxide and limestone calcium carbonate are correct? Actually, limestone is used in the manufacture of iron, yes. Lime is made by heating limestone, yes. Powdered limestone is heated with clay in the production of cement, no. And limestone causes soil to be acidic. Which statement about lime or calcium oxide and limestone calcium carbonate are correct? Limestone is used in the manufacture of iron, so that is yes. Lime is made up by heating limestone, yes. Powdered limestone is heated with clay in the production of cement, which is also right. And limestone causes soil to be acidic, which is not correct. So the correct answer for this is letter C. Okay. The formula of two organic compounds P and Q are shown. So you have P and Q. Which type of organic compounds are P and Q? Actually, with the presence of OH, it means that that P is actually alcohol. So we have B and A. So we remove C and D. However, by looking at this formula, Q can be alkene, not an alkyne, because there is a double bond in between the second and the third carbon. So the correct answer for this is letter B. Petroleum is an important raw material that is separated into useful products. Which terms describe petroleum and the method used to separate it? So actually, petroleum is a mixture, not a compound. So we will be removing choices A and B. However, in the separation of the petroleum, they usually use fractional distillation. So we will be removing this cracking, and the correct answer for this is letter D. Which type of compound is a member of a homologous series? Let's first determine what is a homologous series. So homologous series is a series of compounds with similar chemical properties and some functional groups differing from the successive member of the carbon-hydrogen group. So example of that, we have the alkenes, the alkynes, and so on and so forth. So carbonate is not a part of the homologous series. However, we have carboxylic acid. They are members of the homologous series, not even the halogen, not even the hydroxide. So the correct answer for this is letter B. Which statement about propene are correct? Propene contains only single bonds. If we're talking about single bonds, it should be it should be propane, not propene. 2. Propene decolorizes bromine water. Yes. Propene is obtained by cracking. Yes. And propene is a hydrocarbon. Of course, it is a yes. So the correct answer for this is letter B. Which rule describes the production of ethanol and its properties? Of course, when we're talking about ethanol, we have it can be made from glucose. Yes. It can be made from ethene, yes. It is used as a fuel, of course. And it is used as a solvent. So the correct answer for this is letter A. Which statements about ethanoic acid are correct? Okay, let's see one by one. It contains carbon-oxygen double bond, yes. It contains 2 carbon atoms, yes, because of the term etha. It decolorizes bromine water, which is no. And it contains an OH group, which is yes. The correct answer for this is letter C. Which polymers are natural? Natural polymers. So we have carbohydrates. Yes, it's a naturally occurring polymer. Polyethylene, this is synthetic actually. And protein, it is a natural polymer. So the correct answer for this is letter B. So that's it for today. And I hope you learned something from this review material. Thank you and good day.